YouTube, what is going on? It's your boy Keezy. It ain't easy being Keezy, and in today's video we're going to talk about some fashion trends in the past like year and a half, and give you my reaction to them. Things that have been popular, trending in that time frame. Not predictions now. Just want to make that clear. These are not fashion predictions. These are reaction to fashion trends. Okay, I think I made myself clear. Let's get it. Okay, so before starting this video, you're probably asking like, why are you making a fashion trends video halfway through the year, right? We are halfway through the year, 2020. I'm doing this because to me, 2020 has been over since March, okay? There's so many things that have been going on. The pandemic, you got the Black Lives Matter movement, you got everybody not having a job. Most fashion brands aren't even open right now. I mean, some cities are opening back up. A lot of people are either doing like flash sales online, trying to get rid of their last, tidbit. A lot of things are being seized. A lot of packages aren't even coming in. So overall for fashion, whether streetwear, high fashion, whatever, has kind of been put on halt when it comes to new products and things like that. So I don't really believe that there's going to be too many fashion trends emerging right now until things, I can't say go back to normal, because we don't know when things are going to be fine. We don't know when things are going to go back to normal. That could be like end of 2021 for all I know. So to me, again, 2020 has just been over. So I think it's right to kind of talk about these things right now, even though it's not the end of the year yet, technically.
If someone wants to get into like making their own clothes or making their own customs, what are some like steps to get started with that?
Get creative. If you have a vision of what you want, then, I've had to look up like YouTube and how to use certain needles, or at first I was putting leather jackets through and sewing them and the needles were breaking,
Our first topic we got up is going to be reworked vintage. This category within streetwear, fashion in general, Instagram fashion more specifically, has been so popular, and there's been a lot of pages that have emerged in the past year that all they do is they just do a ton of cut and sew, and sometimes they'll just take vintage pieces and like sew them together. They'll take a vintage pair of Levi's or any other type of trouser and put like cargo pockets on them from other pants, reworked plaid jackets, all different types of anything that you could think of. The most custom pieces you can ever think of regurgitated into one piece is like the main goal of reworked vintage in my eyes anyway. And trust me, if you just go through the search feed on Instagram, you're bound to run into one of them. If you just happen to like 3 of the pictures, I'm sure the algorithm will work in your favor and introduce you to like 50 other people that are also doing it. And this is no disrespect to those that do it. I think it's great work. I think it's really nice. I'm not really that heavily indulged into vintage, so if I were to give my reaction or my opinion on it, I think it's nice, but most of it is kind of a pass for me. Let's move on to number 2. Because the next trend, I don't know if it definitely didn't start this year. Definitely not 2020. And I don't know if it was the beginning of 2019 or maybe even 2017. But archive pages. And I'm bringing up archive pages right now because archive pages, whether it's like Young Starbeam, Hidden NY, first of all, big ups to those pages, because all they do is they repost archive pieces or things within streetwear that are potentially have some kind of hype to them, exclusivity, and it's a lot of stuff that people want but they can't have, and they post it on their feed as like a mood board. And I love them. I follow a lot of them because it kind of gives you inspiration to what you kind of wanted to buy into a little bit, and it does remind you of a lot of brands that came up back then, right? But I will say within the past like 6 months to a year, holy crap, there are so many people that start an archive page. And I think one of the biggest pet peeves of mine, even though I don't get reposted on those pages, shout out to Young Starbeam, he's the only one that reposted me. But the biggest complaint that I've heard from a lot of people is that they don't get photo cred, right? So it's like stolen photos from their actual feed or their page, and it just gets posted on there. There's like no tag or anything. People are like, what the hell? Like, this post now gets thousands of views or thousands of likes, but that's like my item, right? Those are my shoes. Give me some props, right? Photo cred in photography is like, it's a big thing, right? You should never neglect that. But my personal like reaction or opinion on archive pages is I actually like them, and I actually follow a majority of them. I have followed Hidden NY when he had like 10K or 30K or something like that. And there was some rumor going around that archive pages couldn't hit past 20 or 30K, or I can't remember what the storyline was on that. But a lot of these pages now are going crazy. I think Young Starbeam's almost at 50K or something like that, 50, 60K. And then you got Hidden NY that's at like, I don't even know, he's at like 250,000. But there's so many other archive pages too that are doing so well these days. And I think what's positive about it is that it actually reminds you of the stuff that happened 15 to 20 years ago. On the flip side, I think it's a very positive thing. The newer people do have a chance to see things that did happen 10 to 15 years ago that will never release again, and potentially can inspire people for their, I guess, mood board, I guess, or what they want to buy into. Who knows? Or the history. There you go, the history. It teaches them a little bit more about the history. Makes sense. Let's move on. Okay, so granted, this next one has been around for a long time, but this one, actually this has been around forever, but it's now had become extremely fashionable to wear trousers. And I think the popularity of the trouser commercially is like from 2 years ago. I'm probably going to get chopped in the comments for saying that, because people that have been wearing trousers forever are like, oh my god, I can feel your tension already. But like, you're probably, oh, like, I've been wearing trousers forever, da, da, da. Look, listen, I understand. Trousers have been around since skateboarder days. In fact, trousers were probably even made for skateboarders. I mean, it's perfect for them, so then their pants doesn't flood over their shoe and then you get holes in your pants. Makes a lot of sense. But that same aesthetic has now been incorporated into streetwear this past, like, year and a half to a year, and it's way more widely accepted. I see a lot more people wearing trousers that are influencers. A lot of people styling trousers with everything. Every single outfit that you thought was hot a year ago now has trousers to go with it. And my reaction to the whole thing, I think it's nice. Would I wear trousers? I don't know. I don't know if it's my style, but there are a lot of people that make trousers look amazing. It almost good enough for me to kind of want to buy into it, but I haven't gotten to that point. Anyways. Alright, so for the next one we got up actually deals with hats. And it's this whole thing of like doing upside down baseball logos, whether it's Dodgers, New York, San Francisco Giants, I don't know, whatever the baseball team is. It seems to be this trending thing that a lot of brands, whether it's Uniform Studios, whether it's Kill the Hype or something like that, they did that collaboration with Richie Lee. And then there's like, now that I scroll my feed on my sponsored things that they try to sell me, whether it's hats and stuff, they'll all have like upside down logos. And I'm not saying that this is the beginning of the upside down logo thing. The upside down logo look, if I can think far back enough when it comes to people wearing everyone was wearing fitteds back then. That was probably like 2011, 2012. I might have seen the first hat I've ever seen with an upside down logo. And I'm guessing that a lot of these brands are doing the upside down logo because of copyright. That doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, even if you flipped it over, is that what it is? Because of copyright? They don't want to get copyrighted, but they want to use the logo. So if they flip it upside down, it's okay. Maybe. Comment below and let me know if that's really what the case is. But I haven't seen one yet that I'm like so dying to buy myself. And I do know that there's some hype kind of falling around with it right now. I know the Kill the Hype ones and the Uniform Studios ones are doing really well. And also they're doing well enough where a lot of companies are just doing it. You know, but anyways, if somebody knows the information for that, is it a copyright issue? I really want to know what that is. I kind of brought it up for that reason, but also it is a trend. It's kind of popular right now. And speaking of popular, and something that also has been around for quite a while, is throwing paint on clothing. I think the person that kind of brought it back, or brought it to everybody's eyeballs to see, was Off-White and Helmut Lang. And maybe even Undercover. I think it was Undercover, Off-White, and Helmut Lang, and I'm probably forgetting another like 3 or 4 brands that are in there that did the whole paint splatter thing, whether it's on denim, on hoodies. And as far as my reaction goes, I love it. I love the idea. And now I understand that there's like this whole thing surrounding it where people are like, well, you're copying this person because they did the paint splatter first and blah, 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 blah. Look, I understand. People have done paint splatter on stuff. I mean, granted, a 12-year-old can take his t-shirt and go in his garage and put paint splatter all over it and call it art, right? And call it fashion. And that's kind of the point that we're at. I mean, anybody could put paint on a hoodie and then someone can come saying someone copied someone else. I really don't care. All I care about is that I just want the paint splattered on my pants and on my hoodie correctly where it looks tight. You know, it's the whole thing of the whole workwear, whatever. It just makes you look like you're working in a fashionable way when really you've never worked a day in your life. It looks dope to me. It really does. Okay, this next one I'm gonna bring up for sure did not start in 2020 and did not start in 2019. Probably not even 2018. It was probably 2017 when this whole craze of vintage everything. It's like vintage tee, vintage pants, vintage shoes, vintage hat, right? And granted, it's great. And my reaction towards it is it's amazing because it's very budget friendly, right? If you're balling on a budget and you still want designer, then go to a designer thrift. So overall, I do like it. And then also my other reaction towards it is that in 2020, I think it's important to bring up again because as we know, a lot of people don't have their jobs, right? A lot of people don't have money. And when the economy does hopefully come back, depending on what happens with this presidency, I think a lot of people, when they start buying back into fashion and going to stores and stuff, more people are going to turn to vintage. Vintage was already big, and in 2020, it's going to be 10 times, 15 times bigger than it already was. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and also speaking of vintage, you also got this new surge of all these people that were sneakerheads who turned into hypebeasts, and now these hypebeasts have now moved on to higher brand names and high fashion brand names like the Rick Owens and the Issey Miyake's and stuff like that, and they look down upon the original hypebeasts when originally they were hypebeasts. But now they're trying to find excuses on why to wear Jordans again, but they don't want to just wear the 2016 breads or whatever year they came out. They don't want to just wear brand new Chicago's. They want to wear the old school metallics, right? They want to wear the stuff from when Jordan first released it from way back in the day, and it's like crumbling and the sole is yellow and it's falling off. It's like a vintage Air Jordan 1 where the swoosh is a little bit different, and that's what it is. It just became really popular, not only to be into vintage, but also to be into vintage Jordans themselves. Jordan 1s more specifically, that look like they're gonna fall apart. I mean, it's even come to a point where people are taking brand new pairs of Jordan 1s, like Royals and Chicago's and Breads, and they're purposely distressing them, and they're probably putting acetone on it. I mean, is it acetone? I don't know. Probably some kind of acetone to make it look like it's vintage, and they do a good job. They actually look really nice, and maybe to yellow the sole, you leave it in the sun or something like that. I don't know. Would I wear those? Would I wear either? Probably not. I've stepped away from buying a lot of Jordans these days, but this whole topic really just reminds me of Dunks Are Nice. I'm gonna put his @ right here. Shout out to Dunks Are Nice, Rolo from out here in the Bay Area. Like, he to me is the person that probably is getting pissed off at a lot of people that are buying this because it's getting too expensive for him. But he collects. Like, you guys might think I collect Bapestas. Yeah, I might have a lot of Bapesta boxes back here, but trust me, this dude, he is a Jordan collector. This guy probably has every single pair of the OG ones that you could think of, and he has the complete set. He has every single one complete set, highs and lows. Like, his collection is so big, I don't even know how to explain it. But I'm gonna put his @ right here, and hopefully I can try my best to put his channel into the description or something. You can check it out. Really dope guy, really dope channel, crazy collection. Check if you like the vintage Jordan 1s, go check out his channel for sure. All right, let's move on. Okay, so next up we're gonna talk about the Nike Dunk, SB Dunk specifically. SB Dunk, actually SB Dunk and Dunk revival, and they started coming out with stuff like this and stuff like this. You know, honestly, sneakers that people wouldn't give two shits about, you know, 3 years ago if Travis Scott and Kylie Jenner didn't wear it, and other celebrities didn't start wearing it again. People would just not care about these shoes. I'm sorry, especially the Chunky Dunkies. Yvonne, if you're watching this, I know you like the Chunky Dunkies because that's your favorite ice cream. I understand, but I'm personally not too big of a fan of the shoes. I mean, they're cool, and then they came out with the 7-Eleven joints, like very in-your-face type of collab. I think the 7-Eleven joints in the future, 10, 15 years from now, is going to be something that people are like, man, do you remember that sneaker? And that's, you know, kind of pretty much it. But my reaction to the whole SB Dunk, Nike Dunk comeback as of beginning 2019 and 2018, I think it's cool. I think, you know, I'm on the positive side. As much as people want to hate on it and they're like, oh, you didn't wear that before, whatever. Who cares about that, right? It's great. Now people are buying the stuff that would have been sitting on the shelf. And also, this does give more opportunity for those who are into SB Dunks and into regular Nike Dunks to buy more Dunks that get released. Because before that, there was like nothing being released. It was just a whole bunch of weird Dunks that from time to time, as far as I know, I never really bought into Dunks. But in comparison, this would have been like me if all of a sudden Bape came back and made the OG silhouette for Bapestas. If they just came out with this again, instead of putting Bape on the sole and they put Ape, and they made better colorways, more leather pairs, holy crap, I'd be in heaven. I don't care how many people like it. I don't care if it sells out. I'm getting me a pair. You know what I mean? Like, so in that aspect, I think it's dope for those who collect. All right, so next fashion trend that has gotten really big over the past 2 years or so. I'm talking about big. It is like the group on Reddit. You already know what I'm talking about. The group on Reddit is like 250,000 or like 300,000 people large. And that is the rep community. The fashion rep and sneaker rep community. And I think this community originally kind of stemmed from the sneakers because more people were buying rep sneakers from even back in the day up until now. But it's become this whole thing where people just spend thousands and thousands of dollars on buying just reps. And they only purely buy reps. I think prior to the rep community on Reddit being so big, it was really, you know, every once in a while people would buy reps for fun just to see what it looks like, maybe do a fake versus real video like what I do, something like this. Even the Yeezy Adils, or I don't even know how to pronounce this, but even this shoe, this is a rep. You know, I did a fake versus real video for these and they've just gotten so close. But going back to my point is that people used to people used to buy reps every once in a while, or maybe they bought a rep, they didn't know it was a rep, and now it's become this thing where it's like the community itself only buys reps. And really what it feels like, I guess reaction wise, is an unstoppable force. You can't do anything about it. As much as people want to get up on camera on YouTube and in your face about it, like, oh, you shouldn't buy fakes and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Like, look, the rep community is just still going to be going strong. I already talked about this with Davidson on a podcast. I'll try to link that below with him. And he brought up the whole replica thing and he asked me my opinion on it. And my thing at the end of the day is that whether you like the rep community or you don't like the rep community, it does not stop the fact that people are going to still buy reps. That's it. It's kind of, to me, the same topic of sustainability, which is another topic I have down here that I wanted to talk about. Sustainability within fashion, rep community within fashion reps, sneaker reps. Again, whether you like them or not, no matter how much you talk about it, no matter how much you try to do something to avoid it, it's inevitable. It's just going to be there. And I don't really know what the solution is other than for that community to stop buying reps. But we all know that's not going to happen. and not only that, I mean, I've talked about this so many times on my channel when it comes to replica sneakers, when it comes to replica clothing. You know, reps these days are not the reps that you remember from back in the day. Back in the day, the reps that we were dealing with was like buying a pair of Adidas that had 4 stripes instead of 3. But instead, these days, you buy a pair of Adidas and it has 3 stripes. They're all aligned the same way. The tag looks the same. Everything's lined up. The box looks perfect. The only thing that's off is the smell. And it's like, well, you could have just hung up the shoes and let go of the smell, right? Anyways, I don't want to talk too much about it, but again, rep community being huge, my reaction is, hey, if you can't afford the real stuff, I guess, sure, that's probably a better route for you. I don't know, right? If you're not really that into clothes, it doesn't really matter, you don't care about supporting the brand, then go ahead and, you know, do that. But if not, then you should just buy the real stuff. Okay, so last topic we have up is going to be workwear. I wish I can end this video with a better banger, but workwear has been so big in 2020. you know, mid 2019 or beginning 2019, it has just blown up. You know, I'm sure Carhartt is just racking in the dough right now. Yeah, they're just making so much money off the shit they've already been selling. The PPE stuff, like the glasses and all that stuff for the workers, the people that actually work. We're not talking about fashion people that buy Carhartt, okay? We're talking about people that actually are construction workers. They probably make money on that. Carpenters, whatever, right? But now you got the fashion community buying Carhartt. In fact, you know, there's brands like Gallery Department that retailer Carhartt jeans and they sell them for like $1,000, $2,000 is crazy. I mean, Carhartt pants are $40 at Lowe's or Home Depot. Does Home Depot sell Carhartt? I don't even know. Anyways, I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm saying. Workwear, whether it's jackets. Oh, and also shout out to, I'm gonna put the brand name here. I don't know how to pronounce it really well. You know, this brand, I can't lie though, you know what I'm saying? Workwear be going crazy. You feel me? Workwear be going crazy. There's so many brands that are now remaking workwear because this is basically like a Dickies workwear jacket, right? There's people that are like tossing paint onto workwear jackets and all different types of stuff. Do I like it? Obviously I do. I love it. Maybe this trend will fade off, and it probably will, but I think it's gonna take a little longer for workwear to fade off within 2020 or even moving into 2021 because workwear is, you know, it's always here to stay. It's something that has always been there for you. It's just now you realize that you want it because your favorite influencer is wearing Carhartt t-shirts. Yeah. Okay, so closing this video out, the last thing I will say is that keep in mind this whole video is not about fashion predictions. This is just giving you my 2 cents on what I think has been popular, has been trending over the past 2 years, year and a half, give or take, because I just believe that this year has been toast. This year is gone. You know, all the plans you had of traveling, gone. All those plans and opportunities you had about making money, most likely gone. All those things that you wanted to do, even just going to the store, all right, all stores are closed, they're gone. You know, 2020 has just been a mess so far in all fronts. So I thought this video was kind of proper, and by the end of the year maybe we can do another one of these because things change pretty rapidly. So with all the trends that I talked about here today, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys and girls keep it locked. It's your boy Keezy, and I'm out. Peace.
You want to do, and it's just gonna take a minute, but it's gonna work out. Like if you try to cut corners and you put costumes on to do shit, yeah, you gonna get straight, but at what cost? You know what I'm saying? And how you feel when you do this shit for you, 100% for you. You could grind and stay up for 5 or 6 days and not really be tired because it's for you.